Welcome guys to today's video. I know some of you guys spied this in the garage. You're good. There are a couple people that guessed it. Today's exciting video, we are going to be secretly turboing my mom's Solstice. So I got a funny story behind this thing. This is gonna be a fun little project. Look at Alberto in there.
I know, it's really hard. Like, if I turn too much, my hand will hit my knee. Look.
How slow is this thing?
Quite slow.
It's very slow.
Yeah, we're about to like make it not that slow.
I think this car makes like 170 wheel or something absurd. It is probably the most boring car to drive, but my mom loves this car and I respect that. It's her little car, it's her little weekend car. And it was actually still in Connecticut at the old house. She hadn't gotten a chance to ship it down here. My Christmas present to her was to ship the car down to Florida. But what she doesn't know is, well, my mom moved to Florida, I don't know if you guys know that. But what she doesn't know is that the car has been here and I got a turbo kit for it and some other stuff that we're gonna be doing, and we're gonna surprise her and see what she thinks when her car is turboed. This car had definitely seen better days, and Schulman had already come over and done a full correction on it. If you guys notice, the paint on this thing is looking super, super sweet. But if you aren't familiar with these cars, they made a 2-liter turbo version, which was the Solstice GXP, and then they made the Sky, it was called like a Redline. Both were 2-liter turbos, decently quick. And then these were like the base model 2.4 liters. My mom actually got one of the first ones, and she's loved this car. So we're gonna be putting a turbo kit on it that should take it up to about 250 wheel, make some cool noises, and it should be pretty sweet. So the kit that we got is from a place called RPM Motorsports, and what's really nice is it's a full comprehensive kit. It should be a completely bolt-on affair, and a lot of the parts they use are actually factory GM parts that I think they source from, like I said, the other model that actually is turbo. So I'm curious, they quote 10 hours to do the install. Alberto, how quick do you think we could do it if we both tag team it?
I don't know, let's see. I'm reading through the instructions to see like how does it look like realistically.
It's gonna be really fun. Like me and Alberto doing a bolt-on turbo kit with instructions. Like, when have we ever done that? Alberto's reading through the instructions like, I just wish I could make my own turbo kit.
Look, Sean scratched the car.
Did he?
Yeah, look.
No, I think my mom used to pull into the garage and wait until she like hit stuff to know that she was in enough. I'm joking, but a little not joking. I'm sorry, Mom. Oh, dude, so honestly, I know you were talking about those cup holders. It seems like, you know, that's a decent cup holder, but the problem with them is it's extremely inconvenient if you're trying to reach your cups. Tommy, sit in the car real quick and act like you have a drink in there and try to reach in there with your long arm. So you're driving, you're just cruising, you're listening to Hot 93.7. Go grab your drink.
Yeah.
How awkward is that? Oh, Alberto, did you put your drink in there?
It's a drink storage holder, but because you can't access it, it's like, I'm like driving and the drink is like right over here like this. And like, how? Even the window switches, you can't roll down the window. You have to do like this, like a little T-Rex.
Oh, I mean, he's not wrong.
Let me see.
So, like, look, if I'm driving and I want to roll down the window.
Mom, we're not making fun of your car, okay? I know you love your car, and we're gonna make it even more special because I can't have you driving around in something bone stock. So, you're gonna love it, Mom. I promise. I hope you don't hate it. If you do, sorry.
I'm small, I did not spill any drinks, so we're good.
My mom's gonna be like, you let Alberto drive my car. I don't trust Alberto.
I didn't explore like Adam, unlike me. I actually took my time, drove to traffic at regular speeds and accelerations. So we'll
It's
get
about the
here
only thing this
safely.
thing can do, so.
Well, there you go. See, the car makes you go normal speed. So it's all good.
So I think that the first thing we'll probably do is go through all the parts that we have, kind of see what we got, get our mise en place. If you guys are culinary experts, we're gonna lay everything out, make sure we have the right tools and everything so we can do it efficiently. And I think the first thing that we're gonna do, this hood, I feel like we're gonna wanna like literally just take it off so we have more room to work. Because if not, it's gonna be very annoying. Dude, look at this. That's a giant hood. Do you know it's a suicide hood, Tommy?
Suicide hood.
Is that what you call it?
I don't know. I don't think that's.
So look at how, I think this is gonna be pretty easy because look how much space there is to work. Just gotta let it cool down before we start pulling off.
With the hood in the way.
Yeah, well the hood will be easy, dude. Look, it's just like 2 nuts. We can just pull the whole thing off with the headlights and everything.
Yeah.
Guys, I know you've been waiting for us to do a turbo kit on a Solstice. I know that. That's all you've ever wanted from this channel, so. Dude, literally the same exact color.
Oh, you like my paint? You like my paint job? Don't look back there, man.
You trying to race?
I hit stuff before. Don't look back there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Don't do that to that.
Yeah, I heard Taylor hit stuff with this, and that's how he lost his job at BC. Oh, got him. No, that didn't happen. Look at this puny little exhaust. This thing's, yeah, we're gonna do an exhaust on this thing, make her sound nice, and get rid of that cat up there.
This thing looks like styrofoam, like aluminum foam.
The nice thing is this car's actually pretty clean, so working on
Look
it.
at the block. I'm not kidding. Look at the block. Look
It
up
won't
there.
get very dirty.
Doesn't that look like styrofoam?
Why is it like that?
You see, I'm not making it up, right?
Yeah, it does. Nice thing is this thing already does have pretty aggressive LSD. It almost looks like a welded. I wonder what the resistance is. Alberto, hold that wheel. I want to see how much resistance there is. You holding it?
Wait, y'all wait. Okay.
Go. You go. Dude, compared to my BMW, that's... I mean...
This
You're
is a Pontiac,
trying
right?
to say this car is more driftable than your BMW, though.
You know what Pontiac stands for, right?
No.
Have you heard about the transmission on these? They actually use them for swaps a lot. They're supposed to be pretty good.
No.
Yeah, I forget like what it is or who makes it,
Yeah,
but
the front bell housing just comes right off. You can put something else in it.
yeah, but I know they like bolt up to, is it a JZ that they bolt right up to? I know people use them in swaps a lot.
What?
Yeah, it's like something weird. So we just finished unboxing this whole kit. This is the Stage 2 kit from RPM Motorsports. The main difference from their Stage 2 kit for the Stage 1 is it basically comes with fuel injectors and with a boost controller. So instead of running like 5 or 6 PSI, we can bump it up to 10. And it's gonna be like, they'll remote tune it and everything, which is very cool. Rather than just giving us like an off-the-shelf map, they'll hop on like live viewing and we'll go street tune the car. But I'm pretty sure this is an OEM GM manifold, which is tight. Got a gasket. This turbo is very interesting. So Alberto, correct me if I'm wrong, it's got like a blow-off valve, wastegate all built into one?
Yeah.
I've never seen that before. I think this is a Borg Warner turbo they listed on their site. That's pretty rad. So,
Factory Volkswagen turbo.
it's a KO4 turbo. I don't no idea how this is going to respond on the 2.4 liter Ecotec, but we shall see. It's got all the intake and intercooler piping we need. Got a downpipe that should bolt right up to the factory exhaust. Got a custom intercooler, boost gauge, couplers, manifold gasket. I mean, pretty much everything here looks like we're gonna have to reroute some coolant stuff. Got drain line, filter, some studs and brackets, and I mean, seems pretty simple. We shouldn't have to do any fab work. And this is just a box of like lines and fittings. So, but anyway,
It should be fun.
they say 10 hours. I would like to think, I mean, we probably won't finish it today since we're starting almost close to like 5 p.m. So my guess is maybe 6 or 7 hours with the two of us. I don't know. I feel like it should be faster, especially because we have a lift. They're saying without a lift. So we'll see. But we're not going to rush it. We're just going to try to have fun with it and make it cool. So,
So,
what's up?
start dismounting.
Yeah, let's pull that hood off.
Take everything off.
Yeah.
No, not everything.
Let's just pull the engine, dude. Let's pull the engine. Let's put an SR in it.
I mean, the engine, you can unbolt it and bolt it back on.
But are we putting an SR in it?
Let's put an SR in it.
He said no.
It'd probably be more reliable, honestly. Would have been ideal to film a little before video to show you guys how ridiculously slow the car is and what it sounded like and everything. But there should be plenty of stock 2.4 liter Solstice videos out on YouTube. So if you want to search one, you can go search one. I might have a video maybe that I can link in or something. But the reality is, I wanted the car to cool down so we could start working on it, so I didn't want to go take it for a drive. So we already undid the headlights. Now it looks like two 13s. Do you want to just pull the hood so it doesn't fall? It shouldn't because they're studs, but still, you never know. Yeah. Doesn't that sound like it's stripping? It's not.
Alberta. He has loosened. There you go.
I'll have these. You guys got that heavy?
Actually, pretty
Yeah.
heavy.
What? No, it's pretty light.
What are you talking about? It's heavy.
I did drop one. Oh, I got it. Dang, there's so much room now. Sick.
Well, I'm stoked on
Haha. Oh, it looks just like an SR! Look at it! I never saw what it looked like without the cover. It looks literally just like an SR. Tell me that doesn't look like an SR. Tell me that doesn't look like an SR. Tell me that doesn't look like an SR.
It doesn't
It's
look
like a
like an SR.
Miata engine.
It does kind of look like
It looks like a Miata.
You're not wrong. It doesn't look like an SR. But look at all this room, dude. Look at like, this is where all the fun stuff's gonna be happening. Look at all that room. Oh, it's our friend Marco.
We
Marco!
put a Miata engine on this.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, look.
Wait,
It's Miata swapped.
is it really like a Miata engine?
Yeah, dude. It really is. It just be like that sometimes.
It looks like one.
Yeah, Mazda Miata had a factory collaboration with Nissan, and then they made a Solstice.
I would also I almost believe you.
You almost what?
I almost believe you.
That's your first problem there, my friend.
Ow! What the?
Dude, why are you taking out the airbox? We might use that. You don't know. Yeah, I know.
I'm actually here to borrow your pipe bender.
Oh, you would.
What do you mean?
The pipe bender.
Yeah.
You're always trying to bend pipes, dude.
I'm gonna make bash bars for everything. You want a bash bar for this? What?
Marco
What?
is
Why
a
is he
fabricator
laughing? Be
over
for
here.
real.
Hey, so are we just not reading the instructions?
Oh,
Is
wait,
that
I'm
everything?
gonna disconnect the battery. We'll start getting all this stuff out
Okay.
of the way.
Yeah, I'll pull the intake off. I think I can handle that.
You see that?
It's just a flat.
Use a regular thing where everybody gotta use impact for everything.
Yeah.
Because we're trying to do this quick, right?
You borrow that impact, that means I can't use that
The
impact.
question is it faster?
Wait,
if
why don't you
use-
get the other one from the truck too, so we have to.
I need to be wearing gloves. I can't get my hands dirty. I gotta drive my Porsche home.
First world problem.
First world problems. Yeah, my mechanics gloves are gonna have to be white now, guys.
No, that's bad.
Dang, look at that throttle body. It's one hell of a throttle body. If I
Is
was-
there another one of those bolts over there?
What are you talking about?
Does this thing have a bolt on the
Huh?
other side?
What?
Pipe bender.
Oh yeah, it's like this.
Yeah.
Oh, sick. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter.
What'd you break?
The heat shield bolt broke.
Oh, that was.
You know what that means? All the manifold bolts are gonna break. Another one. Hey, the lower heat shield bolt didn't break. That's cool. Oh no. This is gonna be fun. All right, I was hoping because this car is low mileage, never seen really any sort of winners. Look at that manifold. Those bolts are not gonna be fun to remove. I guarantee they're gonna break and we're gonna have a bad time. But I think we do have extra studs, so I think we'll be good, but oh, I'm gonna break all those, that's for sure. Alberto, I like PB Blaster better than WD-40.
No,
No?
no.
I really have had great luck with PB Blaster.
I hate the way that thing smells.
I love the way that thing smells.
You know what I used PB Blaster for back in the day? To kill wasps on spiders.
You're a funny guy. All right, we gotta pull this front bumper off. Looks like an 8mm Johnny.
Anything.
You take out that fog light on the other side?
Nope. Yeah, 1 second.
Doesn't even look like a car anymore. Won't be needing this thing anymore. How's this attach? It's got these like push pin clips, but I don't know if I can pry them out. Well, we don't need it anymore, so. Sorry, Mom. Intercooler time. All right, so the intercooler I think it just like kind of goes into those bolts that I loosened. So I think it'll just kind of slide in there and then I can tighten it and then, yeah, look at that, that's too easy, huh? Mm-hmm. All right, let me tighten the bolts on the side of the intercooler and then we'll do those top ones. That's it. No fab needed. All right, so then you're slid forward, right?
Yep, all the
So
way
I think this
forward.
goes up and then we'll just put a bolt in the back to hold it in place. I think that's how it goes. Watch out. Me and Tommy already installed a full front mount intercooler on this thing. Alberto doesn't even know how to take off an exhaust. All right, so technically pulling the exhaust off isn't part of the turbo kit instructions because it just bolts on the factory exhaust. But since we can't really do anything while Alberto's doing that, I'm just gonna start pulling off the hangers. Might as well, right? Oh, dude, the hangers are super soft.
Can you take them off by hand?
I think so.
Or you need some tools?
No, I can get them by hand. Sick. Well, let's wait.
Yeah.
The whole thing will come down now.
Yep.
I just got an off-the-shelf MagnaFlow exhaust for the car. My main thing was, I know on turbo cars, like having restrictive exhaust isn't very good. And MagnaFlows are usually pretty quiet, so it shouldn't be too obnoxious, but worst case scenario, we can't always go back to the stock exhaust if it's too loud for my mom. But if you guys don't know, turbos actually act as mufflers. So if we kept the stock exhaust and added a turbo in, the car would actually be quieter than it was before. So, fun fact. Hey guys, this is my Solstice.
Yeah.
Is it ready to come out?
Well, hang on.
Okay. This is the moment where Adam should always wear a helmet. My knuckles. Ow. I'm just having a hard time getting this exhaust hanger off. Hey Tommy.
Hello.
Can you hold this just so it doesn't hit my head?
Yeah, 1 second.
You got 3 seconds. 3, 2,
I said 1.
1. Okay, it's out. I think. Oh no, there's one back here. There's one back here.
That donut flame.
The flange off.
That's the noises you make when you work on Pontiac Solstices, Alberto. Solstices?
We're hung
How do you say solstice plural?
Solstice.
Solstice. Oh, yeah, Alberto's gotta come down and we gotta go forward.
Yep, but he's got to come out first.
Oh, silly solstice. When Alberto gets the bar, Mom says run. When I was a kid, I used to do that in my
I got it. Hey, you didn't touch the ground.
Wow. You never had your car. All right. Is the diameter any bigger on the MagnaFlow? It doesn't look that much bigger, does it?
Doesn't look bigger.
Yeah.
The same shit.
Yeah, the muffler looks smaller though. That's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
I just hope it pops. Look at that. Let's line her up. Let's do a side-by-side comparison. Not bad. Not bad. In a half hour, we got the downpipe off, got the exhaust out, got the intercooler mounted. Alberto's already ready to pull the manifold off. Oh, and we got the bumpers and the hood and everything off. All in a half hour, so we're making great headway. Tommy, can you look at those instructions that it came with and see what's next? I think we got to pull the fuel rail off.
Move around to the fuel rail. Remove the fuel rail by disconnecting the engine harness that runs along top of it. Remove 2 10mm bolts that hold it down to the engine head. Wiggle it loose to loosen it up.
Why is she resisting me?
There you go.
I try to be gentle, you know what I'm saying, Tommy? Look at that. She's getting some fresh new injectors. She's stoked. Are you stoked, Mom? Okay. Is fuel gonna spray?
Maybe.
We're good! I remember I did this. I was undoing my injectors. The first time I got like my 240 injectors changed, and I was doing that at RS Enthalpy, and Martin's like, I've never seen anyone get sprayed in the face with fuel from undoing their fuel injectors. I did it, got sprayed all over my face. Never took a car back to Martin again. It's a joke. It's a joke.
There is fuel in there though. I can see it.
Put the other one back in there. I just got the manifold, well, all the bolts for the manifold off. Even though they look very rusty, it actually came out pretty smooth. So it was just surface rust. Now let's see if it actually comes off. Oh, wait. There's one more hidden bolt that I didn't see from up here. You see the way that my height is set up?
Yeah, we think that there's 87 octane in this. So we're gonna go ahead and drain the fuel to make sure we get some fresh 93.
Alright, ready. I got it. And he just sprayed me with fuel.
Sorry.
Wait, no. It does not like that. Okay. So you have to actually remove the cap from the manifold in order to pull it out. You can't, you can't pull out the whole thing. So much for that. Take number 17. I don't know why I said 17. It sounded like fun. Come on. Oh, this big round thing is in the way here too. Come on, get out of there. Stop throwing. Ah, yes. One nice, warm, and rusty manifold.
So that's out, and this is ready to go back in already. We're hauling on this thing, huh?
Oh, still got the cap here
Do
too.
you care for a little bit of cars? It's really hard for me to work like this.
Ow, this one's still hot. This is still hot. Why is it still so hot?
So it's been 50 minutes.
It's been 50 minutes.
Yep.
That's it?
It's 6:20.
How do you give me my lunch money? What more do you want from me? Haven't always gonna understand that reference. Damn, dude. Too easy, huh?
Yeah, let's not keep repeating that.
What? You nervous?
Yeah, like nothing ever goes right.
You're not wrong. Alright, mommy. Your injectors are done.
Very easy.
Yeah. What am I doing there?
Fun fact, have you ever seen the Miata that has one of these swapped into it that goes to OSW?
No.
It rips.
An Ecotec?
Yes.
2.4?
Yep.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Random. Is it turbo?
No. It's NA, but it's in a Miata, so it weighs nothing.
That sounds like a very time-consuming swap for 180 horsepower.
Well, some dude in Canada tunes them to make like almost 200 stock.
Really?
Yeah. Like remote tunes them.
Why do we do a turbo kit? Going in the coolant real quick, because what we have to do now is to make room for the manifold and the turbo. There's a different coolant pipe that needs to go on. And
All right, I just installed a new water pipe over here. It goes from the water pump to the thermostat housing. The factory one is kind of straight, and this one, as you can see, it's like it has a curve that curves down instead of curving like a little bit to the back. That way it makes room for this bottom part on the exhaust manifold, which when we mark it up, you'll see what I mean. It's right there, perfect.
so while Alberto's been doing that, I pulled out the glove box because my plan is I'm going to put the boost gauge in the glove box. We really only need it for tuning purposes. I don't think my mom really cares enough to be looking at a boost gauge, and I just think that they kind of look tacky in the car. So ideally it would actually be really nice. Could probably make it very easily in one of these vents, but in Florida I know my mom and she's going to want the AC more than anything, so I'm not going to get rid of one of her vents for a boost gauge. That would definitely not be a nice thing to do. So in the meantime, they send us pre-gapped spark plugs, so I'm going to put these new plugs in since I can't really do anything while Alberto's working on the turbo side. I'll just pull these coil packs out. Looks very, very simple, and get that done. Like I said, even though we could probably finish this tonight, we're probably just gonna finish up in the morning just so that way we can get on a better sleep schedule. But might as well throw the manifold on, that way we can get the turbo mounted up and just have it look cool. Pretty cool the way that it works. Kind of probably the most tricky thing about this was if you look right down in there, that's where the hole for the oil drain had to go. Alberto drilled that out. A little bit of a tricky process, but their instructions helped a bit. And then one of these oil galleys right here is where the feed will come from. So he's just taking care of that before we mount the manifold. That way it's not going to be an issue accessing that stuff. So are we going to do the old gray silicone trick on the gasket?
Yes.
Make it seal better?
We got the turbo stuff from Permatex, so we're going to be using that.
Isn't it?
It's not going to be turbo.
Isn't it sweet that like since this car, it was a USA car, the gasket's made in Mexico?
I'm not gonna say anything.
Que comico, tío. Es gasket es de Mexico. Que comico. I will say though, it is cool that it's a multi-layer steel gasket as opposed to that composite weird crap that I hate. Right? Do you think maybe is this the type of gasket that had on it? Or did it have a composite style gasket?
Oh, metal gasket, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Except it like, kind of like came apart.
Huh. Silicone just basically helps ensure that you get a nice seal when you're doing manifolds and gaskets and stuff. That's that crazy high temp stuff too, right?
Yes. It's just like the slightest dab on it.
Get that manifold on there. All right, so starting off the day, turbo is mounted. I had to borrow, well actually he gave me one. My friend Wes over from Titan hooked me up with this stock diverter, or I should say stock style, not stock style. The stock style diverter valve that this turbo came with was broken, I think just from shipping or whatever, and he had one of these laying around, so this is a nice like aftermarket replacement. Now it's just really coolant lines for the turbo, kind of doing the intercooler piping all together, and should be ready to rock and roll. It actually didn't say anything about the whole PCV system in the instructions, but what we did, we basically took the leftover line that we had that they sent us, and I was able to put it on the check valve that comes from the crankcase breather, and basically routed it around into the nipple that's right on the turbo specifically for that. So it kind of worked out perfectly, and then I just kind of zip tied it out of the way with the other lines over here. And we are going a little bit above and beyond, adding like proper heat shielding to lines and stuff, just to be extra precautious, even though we probably don't need it. Because this car is going to my mom and we won't have really the ability to look over it constantly, we're trying to go a little bit above and beyond and just make this extra dialed so there's no sort of issues. So we're going to be feeding basically the blow-off valve or diverter valve, what do you want to call it, from the source for the brake booster. But what's important with this car, we already checked. You want to make sure that you're getting vacuum before the check valve, because this check valve here is built into the brake booster. So if we had it after it, it would never really see boost pressure. It would only see vacuum, because that check valve doesn't allow us to feed boost back into the brake booster. So kind of an interesting thing that you should... That makes sense, right, Alberto? I'm making sense?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
Pretty much the only vacuum source on this whole intake is the brake booster. That's why you'll see that they sell vacuum manifolds that you pretty much put into the brake booster line, because it's the thickest line that's provided. In this case, the vacuum manifold is going to have one port which is going to go to the blow-off valve. Some of you will understand. Next minute, yep, some will understand, trust me. Oh, yeah, look at that.
So much better. Why was I wasting my time? This guy gave me this tool because he wanted to watch me struggle.
Watch him struggle yet. I've been over here cutting way thicker hoses, which are the water lines for the turbo, with the same razor blade.
So he just wants it to take as long as possible. Tommy. Meanwhile, Tommy's laughing in the background, vaping and texting instead of working on the Z.
I'm actually working.
What are you doing?
From my phone.
What are you doing exactly again?
Checking the status of the vehicle.
Let me see.
I'm not showing you my phone.
God, another one? So one thing I'm glad we thought of is this car has actually been sitting in Connecticut for a while with 87 octane gas in it, and with the car getting tuned, we want to have it on good gas so it can make more power. Alberto, what was the trick to getting that old gas out of there?
So, it has a factory fuel pressure test port on the fuel rail. I took the little valve core inside. It's the same thing that you find on a tire valve stem. Took that out and then used a dashboard oil feed line that we had spare, and used that, and just I jumped the relay on the fuel pump and it worked.
Who is that? Who is that?
Look who's here! I've tried to film this 3 times and enthusiasm has just been increasing each time, but Taylor's here. Every time I film that clip, it's gotten increasingly depressed.
I was gonna say, you sound enthusiastic.
Yeah.
I thought you were showing them your gummy worm. Oh, you were.
Literally on the final things with this car. A little bit tricky, I had to disassemble quite a bit of stuff. But I got the vacuum line pushed through the harness hole for the firewall. I used a little trick by like taping it to screwdrivers so I could push it through because I was having a hard time. And meanwhile, Alberto's doing a quick boost leak test to make sure that we don't have any leaks before we get it tuned. There were a couple little ones, so it's a good thing we're doing that. And then I have this line right here that where you just got to tee into something for the boost gauge. So we're pretty much ready to get this thing tuned. The RPM Motorsports guy, Martin, is actually, Martin, go figure.
Right?
They sent out this computer as well as like an HP tuner's cable, and he's gonna put on a map on this car so we can start it up. And then, yeah, we can, they actually road tune it, which is pretty cool. So they don't just send like a generic file. We're gonna go drive it and he'll tune it as we go along to make sure everything's perfect for this specific car and setup. So, cool. Wazoo! It's got a full 2-inch turbo back exhaust. No cat.
Whoa.
Dude,
don't tell people that.
what? Dude, it doesn't have
Californians are gonna be sad.
Oh my god.
I'm calling the police.
Yeah, my mom's not. If I told my mom that this car doesn't have a cat, she wouldn't know.
She's going to jail.
Yeah,
You're sending your mom straight to jail.
Dude, my mom will literally like freak out and not drive her car. You're like, can you please say that you're joking? In Florida, it's okay to not have cats.
Yeah,
We're more of a dog state. That's what we're talking about.
You won't go to prison. You'll just go to.
We're more of a dog state. We got lots of dog parks.
Come on, you haven't been around my dad jokes in a while.
All right, so my prediction is it's gonna sound very turbo-y.
I hope.
I think it's gonna sound very like diesel truck spoolie.
That's what I want it to sound like.
I think it will with the small exhaust.
Maybe.
That's
But
how
the
it
muffler,
seems to be.
Usually big straight pipes, I feel like, are when you can hear it the most.
I don't know. I feel like smaller chokes it.
I feel like the muffler will make it sound good and not like.
Oh, it has a muffler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I
It's not
might
gonna
change
sound
my
like
prediction.
Some kids like gnarly KAT straight pipe car.
That's what I want it to sound like.
Then take the muffler off. Can we take the muffler off? Can we take the muffler off quickly?
What is Alberto doing? Oh, he gets a video on his phone.
No,
and
he
puts it
just
there.
put a cat on the car. You're
Did
good.
he?
Oh yeah, oh you have a cat on the
So I have dad jokes, and then Alberto has like super dad jokes.
Yeah, dad memes.
Literally, that's what it is.
It's a dad
I
meme.
have dad jokes, Alberto's dad memes.
Just put the camera on. We're good now. You're
Good job, Alberto.
Yep.
I hope you have kids someday so I could call you Big Dad.
No.
That's not happening.
Big dad.
Taylor needs some boost in his life.
Right, dude? After driving the R33, I was thinking about that just now.
It's been a minute, man. Get back into the game. You need one of these is what you need.
That's what you need.
That's what I need. That's it. That's
It's
the
a
ticket.
Big boy Miata, dude.
Solstice,
There you
dude.
go.
It's a Miata, but it's got more soul. By soul, I mean broken. No.
I mean, how many Miatas podiumed in FD? None. How many Solstices? Almost won a championship.
That was like 20 years ago.
20 years ago, I haven't even been alive that
It
long.
was 11.
All right, so remember that that prototype titanium exhaust we had? I was wondering why the car started sounding so weird.
That could be it.
Oh, that's the sparks your car makes all the time.
Oh, that would make sense.
Yeah.
I thought the sparks were from the tires.
There you go.
Oh, dude, look though. Look at all. I mean, this was honestly a great clearance exhaust after all the rubbing.
It's kind of surprising I didn't wear through it. Wore through the muffler.
I think this is why everyone's been so much faster than me lately.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's a lot of restriction,
Yeah. Yeah.
honestly.
This is more torque, dude.
TQ's all about
All
it.
the torque, man.
So now we went back to the good old Tome. I'm just
Say it for me one time.
what?
Say it for me.
Tomela.
There you go.
Just waiting on good old Martin. Even though we probably shouldn't have the hood on right now, we're just putting it on so we can test and make sure that it doesn't hit on any of the intercooler piping or the intake or anything. So
And you need headlights.
yes, when we go to test tune this car, we're gonna need headlights for sure.
It's an important step in the process.
Yeah.
You can have all the turbos you want, but if you don't have headlights, you're gonna get pulled over.
Headlights. All right.
So I tried to record the first start, but the camera didn't cooperate. Kobe! Is that what you say? Kobe?
No, I just walked away.
Oh, okay, alright. Smells very exhausty. Alright, Adam, what's Alberto doing?
We were having an issue with the car bleeding. Like we weren't getting any heat coming out, so the heater core wasn't really getting warm, and the car was getting hot, which we could see in the software. And it turned out that there was like really no coolant flowing, and the guy from RPM Motorworks said to actually raise the coolant like overflow tank, and it would help. Which sounds a little crazy, but literally the second Alberto raised it, it started actually sucking it in.
Yeah, it worked really well. So I think we're good now. You want to try it again?
Interrupting. Apparently, this is how you're supposed to bleed it.
It's just excited to see you, Adam.
I don't know this guy.
It looks like a volcano because of the little spurts of red. Thoughts?
Super weird. The most difficult part of this entire turbo kit has been bleeding it. We probably have almost just as much time, and I'm not exaggerating, in bleeding the car as we do the actual turbo kit. We even changed the thermostat because we just can't get it to hold temperature, and it makes no sense. Something super fishy is going on. Alberto's been doing this mad science chemistry trying to get the car to bleed by like forcing air into it. But what doesn't make sense, the car's just almost 220 degrees, but it's like the heater core isn't getting warm. Feel the heat right now, Alberto. It's cold.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking maybe something with the turbo lines? I have no idea, honestly. I'm just making things up. Is it air or fluid?
Mostly air. Oh, wait. It's like
Why is there so much air over there? We're throwing some O2 codes, which is a little weird, but basically we're just gonna do not even some pulls right now. We're just gonna go drive around, and Martin from, I just say Martin from Martin from RPM is going to just take a look at everything and make sure the car's not leaning out, not running super rich, etc., and just make sure everything's going well. But ready to hit boost, dude?
Kind of.
We gotta watch it, make sure it doesn't go over 5 PSI. It sounds so cool. It will overboost, so I'm just kind of rolling into it, but listen how cool this thing sounds. It's a nice little factory turbo sounding car. We just understeered. That's so bad. Man, dude, we're gonna look so great together in this thing, Alberto. Are you ready to feel the boost?
No.
Alberto doesn't like this car.
Probably fitting in this thing is like an American Miata.
it's way more tight than a Miata. It's like a Miata without all the good stuff that a Miata has to offer. All right, Alberto, this is gonna be probably the fastest car you're ever in, so I'm gonna need you to like film your reaction for me.
Oh my god.
I would do it while I'm driving, but this car's a handful, honestly. It's very fast.
This on very cozy.
Got what?
Cozy?
No, yeah, we don't need to tune anymore. It's all tuned now.
Alright.
We've been going back and forth. Probably did about 10 logs with Martin from RPM. It's so easy to say Martin from our Sentleby. Are you ready for this thing?
Let's see what this thing is all about.
Ready? Your neck okay? Dude, it sounds cool though, right?
We need the GoPro with the G-force sensor. You're just holding back for me.
What?
Why
No,
you
I can't leg it, dude. I gotta let the Terpskis breathe. Ready?
It's so nice, the airflow. Feels like I'm riding a roller coaster.
How fast is this thing?
I would say it felt similar to the pull on the Hulk roller coaster at Universal.
Whatever that means.
That's probably what it felt like with the open deck and everything. It's like, it felt pretty similar.
The only thing that like I'm not a fan of with this setup, so the turbo spools really fast and it's nice, but I think it spools so fast that apparently these ECUs are kind of a little prehistoric and they can't process data fast enough, so you can't lug it or it'll sputter. So you kind of just have to be nice with the throttle. You feel all those hiccups?
Yeah,
It's like really annoying.
It needs like more acceleration and reach me.
Brought this thing to the warehouse because she's actually getting trailered over to Tampa. Gonna be going over there with Matt Mormon to dial in the paint and get it PPF'd, or paint protection filmed. So having a hard time getting the front bumper to fit, but I was able to use some zip ties and I actually zip tied it to the intercooler. It kind of puts a little bit of stress on it, but you can't really tell. I got it to fit pretty nice. So she's pretty much all ready to go. Just got the gauge set up, finished up. Like I said, it's just mainly for monitoring purposes, not necessarily for actually watching while you drive. But that way, if we need to monitor, make sure it's not overboosting, you can just pop that down and just look at it, see what's going on. The sleeper turbo kit. I know some of you guys were making a comment before about me trailering the Porsche from the Porsche dealership as opposed to driving it back. We did pick it up from Atlanta. That's like a 6.5, 7 hour drive. The main logic behind it is I just wasn't trying to get a bunch of rock chips, which are very likely on the highway, until the car has paint protection film on it. If you're familiar with that, it's like almost like a clear wrap over the car that protects it from like paint chips and rocks and stuff like that. A car like this is kind of important. It's not like a drift car where we'll just casually respray the bumper every couple months. So trying to take care of it, and that's why we're trailering it over to Tampa as opposed to driving it over there. Try to avoid getting rock chips before this thing's protected. All right, so we've pretty much got this whole entire kit complete. I figure I'll give you guys kind of a look to see what we're dealing with. It's kind of a final look on how the intercooler piping is run, how the intake is run, and we'll walk over and we'll look at the turbo setup. The issue we had with bleeding it was actually something to do with the water lines. I don't know if you can explain it, Alberto, or if it's just a mystery.
All right, so it's supposed to be tapped from one of the heater lines. Unfortunately, I happened to tap into the thicker one, which is no longer available, so I had to then make my own hose to replace it to make it back stock. So after also researching some of the forums, some of the people were saying that if you tap the water line for the turbo water cooling, it makes the car overheat, and which is extreme case for us, and it wasn't allowing us to like bleed the car. So I put that back together how it was. Then after researching about the flow of water on this engine, I noticed that the radio has a top port, the radiator has a top port, the head has a top port, and also the factory style turbo version of this engine has the water tap on one of those hoses. It's like, okay, I can just make my own. So what I did, I ended up tapping the radiator upper hose to the turbo, and then from the turbo running back to where that hose originally routed, so that way you get a constant stream of water went through the turbo and does not affect the rest of the system, and it was able to bleed it out properly and no issues, and now it's running good.
So if you want to get a quick look at that, the line that he's talking about, it basically goes over there on the radiator, and it's a pretty compact, neat little setup. Definitely made the car a lot more zippy and fun, and pretty much this whole entire setup. So this project's pretty much wrapped up, but we got one finishing touch. Unfortunately, it's kind of late. We're not going to be able to mount these because we don't have our own tire machine. Well, actually we do. We just haven't set it up yet. It's literally in there. Disclaimer, everybody says NK, Enkai, Enki differently. I got my set. I got my mama set. All right? So my mom's getting some nice wheels for her car, so check it out. Not only are these wheels sick, these are PF01s, pretty much the only wheel that I could find that would actually have the same bolt pattern as her car. They are insanely light. So these wheels are 6 pounds lighter than the current stock wheels on our car, and I know a rough calculation that people like to use because it is, this would be considered sprung weight, right, Alberto?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I always get mixed up which is sprung and which is unsprung. Am I sprung? All right, so anyway, I guess the rule of thumb is you can multiply by 10, so saving 6 pounds on each wheel, it's like saving 60 pounds times 4, that's like 240 pounds that we're shaving off. So this should honestly make the car feel like it handles a lot better, make it feel a lot lighter, and I think they're gonna look sick. They're actually the same spec as these wheels, but I think they're just like 15 mil more aggressive than the stock wheel. It is 18 by 8 plus 40, and I want to say that these are plus 55 or something like that. So it'll be a little bit more aggressive, and here, let's see what it'll look like. I feel like it's a nice stock looking wheel that my mom will like and appreciate, but like the handling characteristics will be what's legit about it. Is it gonna look cool? You probably have no idea what it's gonna look like from that angle, huh?
There, yeah. Wait, hold it again for another wheel.
Yeah, my mom's stoked on her rims, honestly.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So anyway, that's really cool. I've wanted a set. These are gonna look sick. I was thinking about lowering her car too, and BCU's down to do a set of coils for it, but the problem was this car's already decently low, and I think that will like take away from the enjoyment for my mom. Where like she'll enjoy being able to drive this car around, and if she couldn't go over speed bumps and stuff, I think she'd be bummed. So now, all right, so tomorrow I am driving this car 2 hours across the state of Florida to Tampa to go surprise my mom. She doesn't even know I have it. She doesn't know that she's getting it. She doesn't know that it's turboed. So I'm gonna make a video tomorrow with my mom's reaction. I hope it's gonna be good. I hope she freaks out. I hope she likes it. I really hope she doesn't think that I've ruined her car, because that would suck, but it was fun. It was fun working on something different, and hopefully she likes it. The RPM kit that we put on the car is pretty rad. Like, it's almost instantaneous boost, and like I said before, it's tight how many like OEM parts and stuff there was with it. So I'll put a link for that down in the description, but I gotta get this thing cleaned up a little bit and bring it over to her tomorrow morning. This is one of those things where like I got an idea and I was like, guys, let's just do it. And then like 10 minutes later, I ordered a turbo kit and it actually happened. So these ideas like this are cool. Kind of like the kid in the Porsche. That was just like, I woke up one morning, I was like, no, I'm just playing. But yeah, so Mom, if you're watching this, I hope you didn't hate me when I gave it to you. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Get stoked for this video, all right? A little later.